Hey Gutfoxx here. Today we're going to go through the top 5 players at each position in MLB The Show right now. Of course, this will change as the years goes along. Some of them are more obvious than others, but pitchers we will start off with is kind of interesting because you can kind of look at some of their attributes right there, like this Valenzuela. Now, I haven't used all these cards, obviously. It's a little early in the game, but I kind of want to get it out and then kind of like compare later on what I actually think about this. Like, Fernando right now has like the high hits per 9, Ks per 9, that kind of stuff that you look for to like kind of lower the PCI size of the guy that's getting out. But the problem with this card and with pitchers, right? It's all about pitch mix, velocities, change of velocity. He does have nice change of velocity as the 21 mile per hour difference between his fastball and circle change is kind of insane, but no top end stuff and no horizontal movement, cutter, slider, no sinker. It makes it kind of tough to like expect this card to be any good for you. So while I haven't had it, I'm very skeptical of the card. Now, one card I'm not skeptical. I've used this Glavine card. This card is absolutely bonkers. His sweeping curve is wild. The sinker and the circle change. Now, the circle change is very hard to do on pinpoint. Maybe it's worth going to analog for that, but like this card is clearly the best card in the game in my opinion. I haven't seen a pitcher like this in this game in a while. Like this is Kluber level of dominance because he does have a sinker right there. Now if he changes four-seamer for cutter, I'd be a little bit more of a fan of it because I do like movement on my pitches. I don't like things that go straight. I feel like they're easier to hit. And that's just like baseball, right? Things that are going right in the line seem to be able to hit is like, obviously four-seamers that rise up are a little tough. So Glavine's my number one, obviously. This Tananana, I always call him Frank, here is my number 2 in the game after using him quite a bit. How much have I used him online? Just 11 pitches, 3.27 ERA. Now that's in events. I've played a couple ranked series games, and that's the reason I don't play a lot of ranked series games right now is because that's happened to me even in 3-inning games. You guys have probably seen that in Showdown. Servers just randomly disconnect you at times. You're like, oh, so that's just going to be a loss. So I feel like playing a 9-inning game is a tough thing to have. Come on, load. Please load. We're going to have to go to the Show Nation or something like that. It is going. All right, we're going. Let's go back to the... let's go to my inventory and start by the players again. So, Tanana's number 2, Seaver's number 3, Sixto Sanchez number 4, and Pedro Martinez is number 5 to blow off the list in order. That's what I'm kind of feeling right now. So I don't like, Feller, like Nolan Ryan and Feller are really good against bad players because they can't catch up to the velocity. But I think good players will be able to catch up to the four-seam. I feel like Feller sometimes, he can actually have an absolutely insane game, right? If you go against somebody like on a Hall of Fame difficulty or Legend difficulty that really hasn't played a lot of that, Feller's just going to dominate dudes because of his velocity, slider, changeup. It does feel kind of easy to see out of the hands. Nolan Ryan doesn't have a ton of different like velocity there. The curve of the changeup, nothing going side to side on him. Even though it was great per 9s, little inaccurate. I feel like you sometimes leave the ball a little bit too often down the middle of the plate with this Nolan Ryan card. But again, against bad players, you're just going to kind of dominate them. No outlier on his fastball either. So that's why they are not there. DeGrom's got a huge argument. Some of these guys, I feel like a little bit easy to read out of the hand. I really like this Pedro Martinez card. That's why he's like number 5 for me on the list. I really like his ability, his four-seam, basically his sinker, slider, change. The way it comes out, it feels like it's confusing. Now, I have had times where I've really beat up this card and other times where the guy's kind of dominated me depending on his ability to throw his sinker off his changeup. So it really depends, obviously, how good the pitcher is and how accurate they are and staying on the edge of the zone with these cards. Because you can make a bad card really good if you can kind of stay on the edge of the zone and kind of confuse people. Sixto, I think, is a really nice card, too. I had him rated number 4 there. High-end velocity. He's got a sinker, change, slider, curve. So some good movement side to side and up and down on this Sixto. So Sixto, even though his hits per 9, K per 9 aren't as like high as some of these other guys up in the upper 90s, I do like his pitch mix there. But again, I don't think you can go wrong with DeGrom here. Seaver I had at number 3 too. So DeGrom, though, I don't know. I feel bad leaving him off with his top end stuff right there. His live series boosts, his quirks are actually active. Slider, changeup, curveball are his pitches. So you can do some domination with him. I guess I haven't used him at least once in this year's game. Last year's game I have, but not a bad card nonetheless. All right, so relievers / closers, best ones here. Now, I don't know. It's kind of weird right now, right? I actually don't think Gossage is actually awful with pinpoint pitching. I've been bad with him. but like none of these guys I feel like are super dominant. I don't know, like Rivera's been very nice. Like Kenley Jansen's not that great. I think Chapman's actually one of the better ones. I have Chapman, I think at number 3 on my list. Number 5 is Gagne. Number 5 and 6 I like Gagne Wagner tied in there. I really like the Mariano Rivera card here too, as long as you're able to locate with him. If you can't locate with Rivera, he is chop liver, right? But he's got a nice combo of pitches. The sinker cutter combo is the best combo of the game, in my opinion. His only downside is he doesn't really have a changeup, so he's tough to say. So Gossage number 1. Number 2 would be Familia. 3 Chapman, Rivera, Gagne, and Wagner there to roll it out. But Franco, I just don't feel like has like the top end velocity that I kind of look for out of reliever. He does have the sinker, screwball, circle change, but I always feel weird pitching with Franco. At least last year, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have a hard time using him. And then Hoffman's not bad to the circle change, but everybody's basically like just waiting on your circle change with Hoffman. And it's like stuff doesn't really like stick out to you too much because there's not a ton of movement on this other stuff outside of that circle change. But man, is that circle change god tier on him. So yeah, closers, tough. Catcher, I'll try and speed things up. We're going kind of long here. Piazza, in my opinion, is number 1. I just like the way he swings the bat. The thing is, like, I really like Posada, right? Switch hitting catchers and switches in general are insane. I heard from Gunsky, now I haven't used Piazza myself, I haven't finished first inning, that he's got an updated swing and he loves Piazza. So I'm going Piazza based off Gunsky's recommendation. This kind of goes 1, 2, 3. Then Perez is number 3 for me. Number 4 would be Yerman. I really like this Yerman card. Not that great in the field, not that great of a backstop, but man, does he have a stick. And then number 5 would be Jason Kendall. And then below that, some decent gold cards for the catchers. Those are my ratings. It kind of goes down a little bit of the order. First base, it's obviously Ortiz. I don't even think anybody's near his category, being 99 overall, being the live series AL collection. Number 2 would be Prince Fielder here. You can kind of see him based off his ratings there in the bottom right corner. Decent contact and then really good power. I haven't tried to swing yet. That's going off reputation of like his attributes. Konerko here is a pretty well balanced. If you want, not necessarily like a lot of first basemen here are left-handed, but if you want Konerko, if you want a good right-handed slugger, maybe you have left-handers elsewhere in your lineup. I generally like 3 lefties in my lineup and then, you know, switches and righties for the rest of it. Muncie's got a really nice swing. I had him at number 5. Freddie Freeman, I actually adore this card. Now, all these guys, obviously you can play a lot of out-of-position players at first base. Like if you put Bellinger here, he's great, but I'm hitting 640 with Freeman in 25 at-bats. Of course, these are all event games with only a couple ranked series mixed in. But I don't think he actually was on my roster for the ranked series games. But hitting 640 with a first baseman, even though it's a small sample size, yeah, he's got a pretty nice swing. So Freddie Freeman is not bad at all. There's just a glut of great first basemen. So my order is Ortiz, Fielder, Konerko, Freeman, and then Muncie are my orders at the top 5. But, you know, Freeman, man, he might work. If he keeps performing like that, he might need to be higher up on that list just due to performance reasons. Number 1 is Jackie Robinson for second base. I haven't used him. I used him in previous years. I never really loved his swing, but of course they overhauled a lot of swings this year. Alomar's number 2 is switch hitting shortstop with a slick fielder. You cannot go wrong there. Number 3 is Sandberg. I do not like Sandberg's swing at all. He's there just based off attributes as high-end contact versus righty. You'll face a majority of righties. If you do face lefty, you'll have the advantage on it, even though, you know, he doesn't swing a powerful bat. You'll still have breaking balls coming in too, so it's a lot easier. Number 4 is Keston Hyura, another guy that just destroys righties, a little bit better against lefties. You can make the argument you want Keston over Sandberg. Sandberg's a little bit slicker of a fielder, a little faster, a little bit more range there. But yeah, I could definitely see the argument that you take Keston over Sandberg, and I'm not going to argue with you very hard there at all. These are kind of my initial rankings. They're not too scientific. I haven't used them all yet, so that's where I'm kind of at. Right here, second baseman number 5 is this D. Gordon card. This D. Gordon card, it's really nice. Speed plays, contact plays. He's not going to hit you any home runs, but you're just hoping for shots over the infield, under the outfield, or through the infield, or down the line, stuff like that, and then you just basically steal your way into scoring position with D. Gordon, and he is the threat on the base pass. You're going to see a lot of high fastballs if he's on first base, which brings up the rest of your order for punishment. Third base, it's obviously Chipper. I mean, Chipper's like basically everyone's end game third baseman. He's been that way for a few years now. Last year was 1 million stubs. This year's the live series collection. Chipper, we're not going to get a better third baseman this entire year. So he's number one. I don't see him being, supplanted there. But because of the other great third basemen of the ever is Mike Schmidt, who has a pretty bad animation for his swing. He's great against lefties here, but his righties ain't that great either. So Mike Schmidt is solid, but he doesn't have a great swing. So I actually don't even have him in my top 5. I got Cabrera, number 2. You guys saw. Hopefully, I'll have a video out on him. Some gameplay soon. Arenado, I've been really hitting well with. Arenado, even though he doesn't have great stats against righties, and I prefer great stats against righties over anything. I'm still hitting 455, slugging 1,000 with him online. So Arenado's hit really well for me, even with not that great of attributes in power and contact versus righties. Donaldson is my number 4. Pretty solid card. What am I hitting? 344 with him. Actually, I'm not hitting very well with Donaldson. Oh, that's for CPU. Sorry. I was wondering why I had that. That was just doing conquest stuff with Donaldson. I actually didn't play him online yet. I really should. I have 2 of him. I should sell him. And then our other one is this McMahon card. I can do the moments for this stuff, but I've heard great things about this Ryan McMahon card. You want to get his bat in your lineup. This is one of the best budget third basemen in the game. You absolutely want to do this and have him there for you. All right, next position, shortstop. Shortstop is Ernie Banks is number 1, but I don't know. Ernie Banks is kind of weird. I hit 404 online, but I never really feel comfortable with his swing. His swing last year I felt it was better than this year. Maybe I'm just getting in my head when I'm using him. But overall, a pretty solid swing. Wander Franco here is number 2 because of, I guess you don't really need to look at his stats. The stats are on the bottom right. Decent speed, all around great player, and he's a switch hitter, which is really nice. I mean that's maybe even maybe make him number 1 because of switching attribute, but I do like power a little bit, so I have Ernie Banks at that spot right now. Ernie Banks is just a little slow. You want a little bit more range at shortstop. Chipper, I've had a lot of problems playing him at shortstop, a lot of errors there. Tatis, I put at number 3, but I hear some okay and some bad things about Tatis. I don't know. How are you guys doing with Tatis? He's okay. Number 4, I really like hearing some good things, and I really like the attributes on this Willie Adames. I don't know how. I'm sorry, I'm so bad at this. This card right here, contact power over 80 for both of them, so a very solid, very good speed too, a very well balanced all around shortstop right there. Obviously, like the new card that came out with the CJ Abrams, he doesn't have a ton of power, but he's got a ton of speed. So he's got to be up there along with, I really like the attributes and the breakdown of this Bo Bichette card too. If you want more of a balanced guy that can have a little bit of power, maybe not as fast and not much of as a stud in that spot as Abrams, but it really depends what you're looking for there. All of these, except for Cal, I never really liked Cal's swing, but all of these, 88, Xander is really solid. Anderson, solid there if you want a little bit more speed than that. Goodrum's pretty good. And then, I just went through him. So there you go. Stories, fine. Lindo's a switch hitter, which is cool. So I think shortstop's got some very good options there. Very well balanced options too. Left field, Soriano's number 1, but I think he's a great outfielder. One of the better ones in the game that we'll see all year. But also he's got second base as secondary, which is huge. So I'm gonna put him as number 1. Then the next page, everybody else, there's a lot of great left fielders. But this Soto card has just been wild for me. Hitting 537, slugging 1,400. His OPS just recently dipped under 2,000. This card is everybody. This should be everybody's first diamond. If you're gonna buy a card, it's gotta be this card. He is 46,000 stubs. You 100% need this card in your lineup. He's not got the greatest defense. He's slow, but oh my god, it's bonkers the way the ball comes off this guy's bat. Yelich I've been hitting really well with too. So 538 with Yelich. So that's a little bit of a smaller sample size. So I don't know. I'm just hitting really well online, I guess, right now. Every at bat, I feel like I should be driving the ball far and deep and over the fence. It's crazy. Yelich my number 3. Ricky Henderson, I got number 4. Ricky Henderson's kind of nice because of speed. You can say him and Lou Brock are basically a lot in the same category. Henderson, if you want more power. Lou Brock, if you want a little bit more contact versus righties. 120 is insane against righties, the contact. But I would say these things are basically the same card. Depends if you want a righty or lefty in the lineup. That's how you choose it, righty or lefty, for that spot. Pujols has got a really nice swing. Pujols, I should be trying to get a gameplay out on him soon. did well, small sample size, 4 for 7 with 2 home runs with him already. So Pujols is already kind of doing well, and that's the one from Conquest that you guys can get for free. He's not my top 5, but he's got a nice bat for a right-handed hitter. Center field. Sorry, this video's going on for a while. I apologize for the length of it. Center field, I think, oh man, it's going to be a hard one. I think I'm going to put Trout number 1. So Trout's the number 1 center fielder. But Finley's kind of tough. It really depends if you want a lefty or a righty in your lineup. Finley's a little bit faster. Pretty similar otherwise. Finley can steal a little bit more, basically the stealing side. But dude, I don't know. I think I got caught stealing once for me. I was surprised. But I think stealing's not as good this year as maybe it was in the past. But I really don't steal a lot. I'm more of the Dinger Society. So I would say Trout number 1 with live series with his quirks, and it's Mike Trout. But if you want a lefty instead, Finley's there. So Trout number 1, Finley number 2. I would say Acuna is number 3. I really like the way this Acuna swung the bat for me. Let me take a look at his how do you do stat wise? 380, actually not that good. Not that good. 387 is it. Versus Bellinger. How do I do with Bellinger online? 378. That ain't that great either. So, yeah, I have Bellinger number 4, Acuna number 3, but it does seem like they haven't been hitting as well with me as a lot of other cards. And then Andrew Jones is my number 5 card. I did not hit well with him at all in his 26 at bat. So still kind of a small sample size. I haven't used Lofton or Doby yet. Doby could be nice, but I didn't like Doby's swing. Last time I used it was like last year or 2 years ago. It might be worth a checkout for me, but it's gonna. He's a collection reward, right? Puckett doesn't have great stats. I haven't used him though, so I'm not gonna rank him in the top 5. These cards, Griffey, yeah. So those are my top 5 center fielders. Over to right field. And obviously a lot of like left fielders and right and center fielders will be playing right field for you. And so these guys, I think right field is the weakest of the positions in the outfield and maybe in the game. Maybe I guess it's probably stronger than second base, and catcher for sure. But overall, right fielders I feel like are weaker than left fielders without a doubt. You probably want to move a left fielder or a center fielder over to right field. But there's some solid names here, a little bit lower out. Anyways, best right fielder is Mookie Betts, which shows if you take a look at him, his stats are solid. I mean, overall, an all-around solid player. Second base is a secondary. I haven't used him a lot, and that's all I got to say about him. So I think he's okay. Mookie's fine. Joey Gallo, though. Somebody I'm excited to try out. I have not earned him yet. He's just based off reputation. 99 arm in the field is kind of wild. His speed isn't great, but 99 arm is. So yeah, he can really launch it out there, and you can nab some runners with him. And then he's got prestigious power, light tower power, and he's got a nice sweet uppercut. So he's gonna be elevating balls. Number 3 is this Jorge Soler. You'd be like, wait, Soler's got better, power numbers than Gallo. I know it's wild. It's super crazy. 84 contacts, the power. He's not that great in the field with his arm reaction, anything like that, and his speed isn't very fast. But overall, his bat looks kind of insane. So, second half, Solars. Woo! Kind of crazy. All right, and then we have Vladimir Guerrero. Guerrero's nice. He does really well against lefties. Righties, he's struggling. It's tough, and I don't love righties that struggle against righties because that's the majority of players that you're going to face as a right-handed batter. They're going to bring in, relievers to face the right-handed starters. Majority of the best ones, and just the ones that you'll see are right-handed. So I don't love guys that are weak against righties. And Vladimir Guerrero fits in that spot, so that's tough. And then the last one is Aaron Judge. He's my 5th one. Another top-end reaction. He's all like Gallo this way. Really good fielders. Arm's a little bit worse than Gallo. Speed's a couple points higher than Gallo. But Gallo's got better power, but worse contact. So I don't know. Judge is tough because you really got to get used to a 6'7" frame. I mean, I know Gallo's is big enough, but like a 6'7", his PCI may be a little bigger at 70 than Gallo's, but a couple inches of height. And I mean, 70 contact with him, it feels like it's actually naturally lower than that because his strike zone is so big. So like 70 actually plays more like 60, 50 because there's just more region to cover with him. So overall, Judge is right there. I've never really loved Judge's swing either. So those are my top cards. Here, I'll show it to you guys. The entire list that I have. There you go. Whoops, I got my webcam kind of on. So there it is. Top 5 players at each positions. in the game right meow. Hope you like it. Hope it worked out well for you. Let me know where you guys disagree. Who's done well for you? How wrong is my list? Let me hear it. All right, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Please thumbs up, like it. Please dislike it if you didn't like it. Let me know what you could have done better. Otherwise, sub. I enjoy it. I need it. I crave it. And thanks for watching Call to Action. I'll see you tomorrow.